Therese has lived in Lebanon for almost all her life.
So I was born in Adelaide and I moved to Lebanon when I was 1 year old. And we lived in the suburbs, which was just on the outskirts of Beirut. People are very welcoming. The beaches of Lebanon are very nice. Everybody has pride in Lebanon when they're there.
But over the last few months, life for many people in Lebanon has been a lot more uncertain.
I remember sitting on the balcony at my house, and it was me and my mom was painting, and then we just hear this plane lying low and it goes poof. It's escalating more than we've ever seen before. I had been raised with the idea that this was going to happen at some point and you don't know when it's going to come. And it happened last month.
Israel has warned the residents of another 20 villages in southern Lebanon to evacuate immediately as it continues its campaign against Hezbollah.
Over the holidays, there has been a big escalation in fighting between the Israeli Defence Force and a group called Hezbollah. It's a militant group, as well as a political party that's based in southern Lebanon and is backed and financially supported by Iran. It doesn't run the country, and it's not part of Lebanon's official armed forces, but it is the most powerful military force in Lebanon, and it's got a long history of conflict with Israel. In fact, Hezbollah was formed in the 1980s to fight Israeli soldiers that had occupied southern Lebanon during the country's civil war.
Thousands of Shiites, mostly from South Beirut, voiced their support for Hezbollah's continued military campaign against Israel.
Many countries, including Australia, list Hezbollah as a terrorist organisation because of its history of violence against civilians. The day after Hamas attacked Israel on October 7th last year, Hezbollah started firing rockets towards northern Israel. And the two sides have been exchanging rocket fire since. More than 60,000 people have been evacuated from towns and villages in northern Israel, and people have died on both sides of the border. In the past month, things have escalated. Israel assassinated the head of Hezbollah, and several other leaders and civilians were killed by explosives that had been hidden in communication devices. Now, Israel has sent soldiers into southern Lebanon and has been bombing sites in the capital, Beirut. It says it wants to drive Hezbollah far enough away from the border so that it can't fire rockets at Israeli towns.
I say to you, the people of Lebanon, free your country from Hezbollah so that this war can end.
In the past few weeks, more than 1,000 Lebanese people have been killed, and more than 1 million people throughout southern Lebanon have been displaced. A lot of them moving to evacuation centres like this one in the capital, Beirut.
I miss home. I want the war to end so I can go back.
Life is getting worse now because we keep hearing that the war won't end soon. I don't know.
Rockets continue to be fired throughout the region, and there are concerns that conflict could spread to other countries.
Hezbollah and other non-state armed groups must stop firing rockets and missiles into Israel. We urge Israel to stop its bombardment of Lebanon and to withdraw its ground forces.
Meanwhile, the Australian government arranged special flights to help citizens who are in Lebanon get back to Australia. Therese will spend the next few years in Australia studying, but she'll be thinking of her family back home.
I hope that everything settles down again after that we've seen before a war like this has ended. Lebanon is definitely a place that's very precious to me, and I want that to stay.